Did you know that 90% of the world's millionaires invest in real estate? Well, I'm Angel with the Academy Presents Real Estate Investing Rocks, and I'm here to help you if you want to go for your piece of that pie. So that brings me to this geolocating thing, because I've only recently learned about it.
Sure. Yeah.
How do they decide like how many miles to search out on like the when they're setting those things up?
Yeah. So you mean Google? How do they decide which ones? I'm just going to show you that. So there's a couple major ranking signals, and one of them is proximity. That's one of the big ones. They want to show you the closest result to you, all things being equal. If you've got really bad reviews and you're the closest result, well, that's enough to push you down. But typically they'll just show you the closest result, the closest three in that, what we call the snack pack, or the 3-pack. Mm-hmm. And if you then continue to search, then it'll expand out a little further. And if you continue to search, because remember your history, your cookies, all of that is being captured. Every time you type something into Google, it's captured by their system. So if I search for, Italian restaurants near me and look at the 3 websites in the snack pack and then search for best Italian restaurants, they're not going to show me those same 3 again, because they know I've already looked at them and I haven't chosen them. So they're going to show me different results, or they're more likely to show me different results. They might show me the same ones again for some reason, but they're more likely to show me a different result, and they'll go out further and further until I stop searching. To an extent, they won't go out, outside of city limits or anything like that, but try it. Next time you just have a few minutes, try searching for, Mexican restaurant, and then best Mexican restaurant, and then best tacos near me, and you start getting different results in the map pack.
I guess I'm thinking here. So we're about 2 hours from Dallas Fort Worth. So okay. I don't know, what is that? 120 miles ish.
Sure.
And so I'm sitting here thinking, if someone was, because we're real estate investing education, that's our thing. If someone's searching for REI education and they're wanting somebody in the Dallas Fort Worth area, I'm wondering how many searches it would take for us to come up if we're listed in our hometown. Never would. Yeah.
Yeah. If they're in the DFW area, then you're probably never 2 hours away. You're so very unlikely to appear in the DFW area that I wouldn't even go for it. Not in a traditional marketing sense. There's those black hat techniques that can break that proximity filter. And there are ways that agencies like me can break that proximity filter in safe ways. But for a standard business owner, you just don't have time to do those things.
Yeah. Wow. Which is why we're trying to go through the YouTube route, and we're going to be pulling the podcasts up, and we're trying to come at it from a lot of different directions, because the possibility of someone finding us that's searching specifically in the DFW area is pretty slim.
Yeah. So if you were doing an online thing, then that would be a lot easier for you to get found. If you were showing Google, we can do this online. They don't have to drive 2 hours to come to us. Mm-hmm. Now you're going to start to appear a little, in those other searches, but your location will unlikely ever appear, given the resources and effort that you as the business owner could put into it. If you hired an agency like me, of course, that's all we do all day, every day. I don't have to worry about doing the books and creating courses and keeping up on REI techniques and all of these other things. All I have to do is sit around and try to break that proximity filter. So I've got the time and the resources to do that, where a business owner like you most likely won't.
But the Google My Business portion is particularly aimed at local businesses as opposed to the online.
Yeah. Correct. Yeah. But I mean, in that case, if somebody's searching for an online, then it's you still stand a really great chance. And even for those that are looking for local, if you can rank really high on the first page in the organics, the text listings, then you still stand a really great chance of gaining business from the DFW area. You just have to approach it from multiple angles, as opposed to relying on your GMB listing to do that.
Okay. So when you say organics, you're talking about just what naturally happens, or?
Yeah. So there's 5 parts to the Google search page, right? There's that very top search bar here. As a matter of fact, I can show you. When we go to Google and search, first we get the auto suggest. That's this right here. Anytime we start to type something in, Google starts finishing our sentences, right? This is what it thinks that we're going to look for. So let's just look for a plumber, Las Vegas. So this is number 1. So you see this Don the plumber. This guy's SEO is good enough that he's become an auto suggest. Google thinks that people are looking for him often enough.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and this is actually something we at Clixy specialize in getting that done. So we've got the auto suggest. And then in this case, this is something brand new. So we're going to actually ignore that. It's actually part of paid advertising. You've got what we call PPC, and that's pay per click. It says ad next to it. These people have paid to be in this position. And every time one of their listings gets clicked on, they pay a certain amount of money, depending on the bid at that time. Oh, wow. This is the snack pack that I was talking about here, the first 3 local proximity listings. So that's our 3rd position. And we got the 4th position. These are all the organic listings. I haven't paid for it. It's not in the snack pack. For some reason, Google has determined that the Sunny Plumber Las Vegas is one of the top 10 results that people that will answer the question Plumber Las Vegas. And then our 5th spot down here is the searches related to. So if I don't find the answer by going Plumber Las Vegas and I go, oh, well, I'm actually looking for the best plumber in Las Vegas. So Google can give me suggestions and now I'll get a different search result. Based upon my searches. So this is what I'm talking about when I say organics, is these sort of text listings. So getting into these, you may never, being 2 hours outside of Dallas, Fort Worth, you'll likely never get into here. You do stand a really good chance of getting into here, and you can definitely get into here, and you can definitely get into PPC spots, and you can get in. So you've got 4 other opportunities to get in front of people. Using Google. So don't despair. Don't despair.
All right. So I'm going to throw something totally different at you, but
okay.
We've actually got an app in the works.
Okay.
It should be coming out about September 1st. Awesome. Right before our summit. Our fall summit is September 24th, 25th, 26th. And so we want everybody that comes to our summit to get a piece of to get the app. Okay. And we're hoping to have worked out any glitches between September 1 and September 24, or the main ones. Sure. There's going to be plenty, I'm sure. And we're hoping that as people use the app, it becomes very popular.
Yeah, of course.
How does that work to where apps are at the top of the list? Like if you search something.
So apps aren't really within my realm of expertise either. Unfortunately, I wish I could answer this question a little bit better for you. What I do know, and I'm sure there's more like hacks and tips and tricks out there, but I do know the primary ranking signals for apps. And that's, again, user engagement, downloads, and how long it stays downloaded or used on somebody's phone, as well as reviews. So you'll want to encourage people to get reviews or to review your app. And of course, the reviews are, the more likely you are to rank in that sort of Google Play Store or iTunes Play Store or Apple Store is the word I'm looking for. If you can't tell, I'm an Android user. I can barely name the Apple products at this point. So in the App Store, it's a lot about that. The user signals, user engagement.
Yeah, I didn't know. I just kind of threw it out there. It hit me. I'm like,
Yeah.
I wonder, because you never know who knows what.
That's right. Absolutely. That's right.
Yeah. No, we believe that it's going to revolutionize some stuff. It's
awesome.
It's pretty awesome. So I'm not saying much about it.
Sure. No, we got to keep it hush hush.
So, but it's it's gonna change some stuff for people.
Cool. I'm excited for you. I hope that works.
So you knew me before,
That's right. That's before she got big. Be like, I know her when I see her on TV.
I don't know about all that, but I do believe that it's going to be pretty revolutionary as far as what it can offer people. So
okay. Well,
looking forward to it. And hopefully we can get people to give those reviews, good reviews. Yes. Instead of complaining about glitches that always happen with everything. So
yeah. Unfortunately, you're going to have to deal with those too. But responding to the reviews will be a big part of that, I think.
Yeah. Well, I think that's true of anything, whether it's
Yeah,
a website or an app or just
that's right.
even if it's just your personal page on Facebook.
That's right.
So, well, cool. Is there anything you would like to add? I think I've kind of exhausted all of my questions.
Have you? Okay, great. Yeah, no, I just, you know your audience better than I do. So I hope we've been able to help some of them out. And, if anybody has any questions, reach out to Angel and she can reach out to me, or you can find me on Facebook most often. Alan Levings, just search me up and feel free to DM me. And of course,
Yeah. Actually, I do have one more.
Services. Yes.
I did think of one
please.
more.
Okay.
All right. So I like to repurpose content.
Okay.
I feel like it makes my life a lot easier.
Sure.
So like my podcasts come from my YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
and then like metrics will be run and the little snippets that get the most hits will be reused somewhere else.
Smart.
And I've had some people say that they just think that that's really wrong and that you should be creating unique content across platforms. Have you heard that, or have you seen where that's not a good thing to do?
I mean, I'm sure anybody could come up with an example, but repurposing content is a primary function of staying active on social media and on these different platforms and running a business at the same time. If you've got a dedicated social media manager and they're using one snippet across everything, then I hope you're not paying them an exorbitant amount of money. If you're paying somebody a decent salary, then yeah, they should be creating, but is it going to hurt your rankings? No. To post it, the only thing it would do is maybe, like if I follow you on Facebook and you're posting the same thing on Facebook and Twitter, why would I follow you on Twitter? Because I'm seeing the exact same thing on both. So that could be the only way it would really hurt you. As far as like rankings or something like that, no, definitely not going to hurt you. Unless you're using the same exact content, like on multiple pages of your website. So in that case, duplicate content is going to be a problem. If you have the same page over and over and over again, or the same content on different pages, then that's going to be a problem. But as far as using snippets of YouTube videos and stuff, no, I can't see that.
Okay. Well, I was just kind of thinking, like, when the person brought that up to me, I was like, well, different audiences use different platforms.
Yeah.
Because when I think about typical Twitter users, a lot of times those people don't cross over into, say, Facebook.
Right.
Just because they're on Twitter because it's shorter, it's faster. And if it's interesting, then they'll click it.
Yeah.
But it's like just a little synopsis of what this post is. And if you want more, click on it. And so I feel like those are kind of, it's a group of people that they want the highlights and they don't have the time to go much deeper than highlights unless it's really interesting to them. Yeah. Whereas you've got Facebook users that are used to longer posts. They click more all the time to read the whole thing. And it's people that have maybe not necessarily more time, but more willingness to read.
More attention span, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe. And then like when I think about LinkedIn, I think about people that have less time, but a lot of what I'm hearing from people that use LinkedIn a lot is it's more targeted. And so the items that are put on LinkedIn that are more targeted are more likely to be read. But again, a different audience. Yeah. And then Instagram, I don't know of it all, but I've been told that it's like a younger audience, maybe not necessarily as young as say TikTok, but a younger audience. And so
more visual.
Yeah. So I see it as targeting different groups of people. And you have to change the content anyway because it won't fit. Like if what you post on Facebook, you're trying to put on Twitter, it's not going to fit.
Right. You've got more limitations on Twitter. So you have to change it up a little.
Yeah. And then so when I first learned about Instagram, all you could do was post pictures. I understand now you can actually put text.
You can. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. I had no clue about that. So.
Yeah, Facebook took over Instagram. So no, that's Facebook owns Instagram. So they've made some changes to make it a little closer to Facebook in some ways, in some respects. But yeah.
Well, I didn't know they owned it. Wow. Now I feel really ignorant.
No. Facebook owns a lot. They own WhatsApp, if you've ever heard of WhatsApp.
I do know what WhatsApp is.
Yeah, they own WhatsApp as well. They bought it a couple of years ago, and so they own
Wow.
several things that you go, oh, really? Yeah.
But it makes sense that they would be able to purchase those up because they're on that plane.
Yeah.
So
makes sense.
But then again, I mean, like they're going to reach a point where I can't even think. Is it the SEC that stops them if they feel like a company is monopolizing a market area?
Yeah. In fact, Mark Zuckerberg was in front of Congress yesterday for an antitrust hearing. It was Mark Zuckerberg and Jeff Bezos from Amazon, and I can never remember his name. Sundar. Anyways, he's the CEO for Google. We're all had to testify in antitrust hearings yesterday, so that was fun to watch.
But I mean, it makes sense because you don't. So I'm an economist. Yes, I taught middle school, but I teach economics too.
Okay.
And so I guess I can see both sides of it.
Yeah.
Monopoly power can kind of suck, but as far as how efficient they can become when they own so much of the market,
yeah,
I can see both sides of it.
Sure. It's a double-edged sword, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know. I would think that as far as like a digital marketer, it would make things a ton easier if 3 people owned all the social media platforms because they'd be so similar.
Right. Yeah.
You can learn how to maneuver in all of them.
Right.
Yeah. Because like back in the day, when I first started teaching online, I was using Blackboard for one institution and WebCT for another institution. And they were similar, but they were different, and each one had its own little quirks. Well, eventually Blackboard bought WebCT. And then they were virtually the same. Now I only use Blackboard, but it was really neat when Blackboard bought WebCT because the things that I had learned how to do in Blackboard that I couldn't yet do in WebCT, now I could do in WebCT too.
Sure.
And so I guess that's kind of where I'm going with this thought process is that just the ease of moving from one platform to the next. And that could be really helpful to me and to other people that need the ease of mobility amongst platforms.
Yeah. Especially business owners who rarely have time to learn these new things. You're trying to run your business. You've got better things to do than figure out, what's in the latest Google update and what are this new social media platform, and so on and so forth. So
thanks for joining me today and sharing some of your hacks on how to help out with our social media presence and prowess. Hopefully some people listening got something out of it.
I hope so.
I know I did.
Good. Well, then I know one person benefited from it at least, so I'm good.
Well, and there's some people out there in my audience that are like me.
That's right. I'm sure there are.
And then there's other people that just find this interesting.
Yeah.
And maybe they're tucking it away for future usage. Just because technology changes, some things are not going to change. Like the reviews that you get from people are still going to dictate where you fall out. In lots of searches. And I think that's going to be true just into perpetuity. Because people are always going to have opinions, and any platform or person or company or business, anything is going to use those rankings to determine whether or not they're going to do business with you. So that's something that's always going to be relevant. So even if this is being watched 5 years from now, there's still some pieces in there that have their relevance.
If this is being watched 5 years from now, don't hold me to everything I said, because a lot of it's probably different by now.
Well, I hope that nobody hears this 5 years from now and they're like, "What? Is that like MySpace?"
Oh goodness. Facebook. What's Facebook?
Yeah, I'm a little scared of what my kids are going to think of me later on. But regardless, thank you for being on today. Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody.